Good morning, good night. Today, we're replacing the existing Alpine head unit in the car with this one. This one is the ILX W650. Highly recommended on the forums, and it's supposed to be plug and play. Let's see if this works. So obviously, before we can put the new one in, we got to get this one out. As you can see, it is the Alpine model. This happens to be the Alpine INA W900. It no longer is supported by Alpine. I called them to see if they could update the GPS, and of course they said no, we're not going to update the GPS for that. So at this point, it's an okay system. It works. It's very fast. But anyway, it's got to go. It doesn't have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, which is what I'm needing. Let's do it. Let's get out. By the way, my car is a 2011 model, and this is the Alpine that comes in it. So the hardest thing about doing this is just popping out this faceplate. There's a clip that is right here next to these two blanks. My car, these are heated seats options, which I don't have. There's another clip that's down here. I think it's maybe right here next to this blank. There's one up here, hiding up here at the top of the peak, which I think is more or less right behind this black plastic. And there's one over here in the corner underneath the hazard lights. So that's what we're dealing with. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we pull carefully, everyone recommends starting from the outside here and then moving inboard of the car. We should be able to get it. I'm gonna sort of adjust the wheel, get myself enough space here, try and get my hands behind and start pulling here. It's hard to get, ooh, it is hard to get a good grip on it. Everything's a little smaller and tighter than you expect it to be. Son of a gun. I do have trim tools, which I can go in here as well, but they're kind of I don't know if I have anything that's gonna really move the needle. Let me see what I can do here. Oh my God, yeah, it's harder than it looks. It looks like it should just pull out. Lotus use the same clips here, and I've taken these out a couple of times. They are absolutely painful to use because you feel like you're just gonna break everything. All right, if I pull the wheel all the way out, okay, this is the secret. I think you pull the wheel all the way out, all the way down. I can reach behind it and get 2 fingers onto the clip area. Thing then will be good. I don't want to. The aluminum is actually mildly sharp back here because you're not supposed to be reaching. So I'm going to try to do it in such a way that I don't cut myself. Okay, got it. 1. I think that was both of them. That's 2. So now it's hanging up here, so you can see there. And this is yep. Okay, that wasn't fully out. So now that, okay, easy breezy. That is fully out now. So this should just kind of come off. Now remember, don't bend this. You can bend this aluminum and it'll kink right here along the bottom. So be very careful. And what I'm going to do is just help guide it out without, I don't want to mess this up either. So we got to essentially get around to here. So I'll probably pry on the side as soon as I got a little bit of angle. All right, I got it. Okay. And be gentle with this because there's actually, so obviously what we got is some connectors that will unplug both for all the switches that are here. And let me go ahead and do that. Let's see. It should be just a squeeze connector. Actually, that came out pretty easy. There should be one more over here. Now, you might have an additional bank of buttons over here, which I do not. And the good news is, just because of how they're located, really can only go in one way, so you're not going to mess it up too bad. And in typical Lotus fashion, I've lost a couple of clips. So the clip that was up here at the top is now falling behind. And then the clip that was over here at the bottom is somewhere behind. I'm going to try to dig them out. I can actually see this one clip here. That was the one that was giving me some trouble. These two, if you just kind of pull straight out, they weren't too bad. One of them fell behind the dashboard. I'll have to dig that out. I think it'll just fall straight down. Hey, there's a clip. All right, we'll put this right back on the top where it belongs. So while I was in here digging around, I did see something interesting, right? This is the connector for, you know, what opens the glove box and things like that on my car. I also found this was sort of hidden, pushed behind. I think it's an LED of some sorts. Looks like it's an LED at the end of a little bit of a tube. I don't know what that was supposed to connect to. Looks like it was just sitting there. It might be going to those other options that I don't have, but it's just overall a little bit odd. So you notice that I have this on, and actually it's not really a good idea to have this on while you're working. The reason I did that is because I'm actually hot and sweaty out here. I was running the car with a little bit of air conditioning. So now that I've actually cooled the cabin for a few minutes, it's quite cold in here. By the way, Lotus air conditioning in this Evora, fabulous. I mean, technically shout out to Toyota for that, but like, good on Lotus for not like shrinking the air conditioning condenser or something like that. It's super cool all the time. Love it. All right, so we'll take that off. No more power to what we're working on. And by the way, look at this little, this came on. Where was it supposed to go? I don't know. I do not know. Look, there's a little, I could hang it down under here. What the heck is it for? Like a little light bar that I'm not familiar with? Like there's a little light bar that goes underneath here and a light bar that goes underneath the other door. Is there also something that's supposed to be like here? Hey, by the way, look at that. There's my clip. I just pulled on this a little. Oh my goodness, there's a second one. Are you kidding me? What's that? What the hell? What else is gonna come out? Some money next? Oh my Lord. Look at this. Hang on. This is amazing. This is crazy. So first of all, I just found these clips, right? So I just found these two clips in here that fell out. Then, as I'm pulling on some stuff down here, I realized this is a light bar that connects probably with this. I think it got disconnected somehow. Maybe from me, maybe from someone else fiddling around. If I can hook this up, it's gonna light up something down here. I don't actually know where it goes, but clearly that was intended to be together. Okay, I think, where's my key? Key. Okay, I think I connected it. Let's see, if we turn the car on. Okay, and now, turn the car off. Do I have a little light bar somewhere? It looks like it's, okay, certainly no, yeah, look at that. So in fact, I know it's light out, but I got a light bar now all the way across here. Okay, let's get back at it. So power is off. We are now doing the simple job of removing the screws.
Basically, it took me a long time to get this head unit out, and I thought it was binding on something in the back where I couldn't see, but it turns out it was binding on the pan head screws that hold on the tabs on the sides. I'll show you here in a second. And I just had to sort of wedge it open a little bit to make it work.
All right, I don't know if you can see this, but right here, there's a pan head screw that it's getting held up on. And on the other side too, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of use this as a way to separate the frame, and then I'm going to pull it out and it'll come. I already got the right side coming a little bit. So now I just got to get over here on this side, and what I'm doing is essentially spreading the frame that it's in. There's a metal piece underneath here that I'm pulling up. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, it's definitely coming on that side. I see that, right? We're happy about that. And now we got to do the same on the other side. You animal. Ow! Oh my God. I cannot express to you how frustrating this has been. And I'm just pulling it out. I had to use so much force. Look at this. This is what it's hung up on. This freaking pan head screw, which should have been a flush head screw, and on the other side, it was hung up on those. Oh my God. Guys, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe the person that installed yours had better hardware, but that was like 30 minutes of my life that I can't get back. I'll show you what I did once I get it out fully. Let's take a look at the back, try and see how much of this is still hooked up. Close this up, which seems to have a tolerance for being open and closed. All right, there's a whole bunch of connections. Take them off one by one and really think about what each of them is, so we don't mess this up and I don't lose a connection down in the hole. And so anyway, what I was doing is I was spreading this frame here and here by jamming the screwdriver in so that it would get around these pan head screws. Oh my Lord. Let's disconnect a couple. Okay, there's one. I think this just pulls out. There's another. I'm putting it on the side here. This one says camera, which is very important to me because there is no rearward visibility out of this car. Red and white connections for RCA. So that's got to be left and right audio of some sort. Okay, then we get into this mess of things. That stays with the radio. Okay, there's a big old clip down here. Okay. So that bunch is off, and that gets me a little bit more wires. Okay, this, bet you that's the microphone. That's all loomed up, which is odd. This is a funky one. That's reverse. Okay, that's a reverse switch. Try to get that off gently. That's a very delicate wire. Wow, that's very delicate. So I'm gonna remember that green to orange reverse switch. Then we have this one here. That comes off. That's a big bundle. Oh my Lord. Oh, okay, that was the USB. Okay, that's there. And the last one, now that I've got a little bit of space, is this. I've never seen a connector. Boom. Okay, I mean, that's it. And I'm a sweaty mess. I don't even want to show you my face. It's 90 degrees out here, and I know I'm doing this for you guys, right?
So I got my little chicken wing to help us out here. So chicken wing jumped on. She's 32.8. Let's round up to 33. The old one is 39. That's a 6-pound head unit. The new one still in the bag here basically was 35 pounds. So that's a total of only 2 pounds. More importantly, that's a weight savings of 4 pounds. Hell yeah, Lotus.
Got the ears moved over from the other Alpine unit to this Alpine unit. I have to straighten them out a little bit because they got bent up in my disc removal, my disassembly. So what I'm going to do is, where I know that a connection is not going to be used, I am going to, for my own sanity, tape it off with white. I sort of know that I've given thought to the fact that I'm not going to use it to the thing. So it should be a simpler set of cables, and I'm going to attach them in order of length because that'll just make it easier. So microphone goes in here, boom, done. Then I'm not going to use the rears, which is really weird, but that's just how Lotus did this, right? There's really only front. These are subwoofers, but even though there's a subwoofer in this car, we're not going to use that. I know. Lotus made a choice to do that. That goes on. That's easy enough. We're not, okay, rear view camera is a big deal. So that goes here. Front view camera, which is kind of a cool concept, but we don't have one. So we're not going to worry about it. And then the two important ones that are short right here are the USB cable, which will go right in to the back here. No more lead off the back. And then, of course, most important of all, this power cable. Ooh, hello. That's a strategy. Okay, I heard a click. Good. Now, all the rest of these, my understanding is they're going to be unused. I'm just going to sort of, there's enough space back there they'll sort themselves out. And do look at this. So, for the record, I replaced these with slightly thinner. I don't have flush head screws. I got pan head screws, so they are going to be. It's a little bit of like the same happening now, but at least I know what's going on. And anyway, that pops in very tightly, but it's easier to get it in than out. Okay. Well, that's a good sign. Certainly got power. All right, we got Bluetooth going, so that's good. All right. Got a weird sound going on right now related to the engine. So I went through and I reviewed my video, and I saw that when I undid the original Alpine, they didn't wire it with the front. They wired it with the subwoofer, and I find that a little bit ridiculous. Like, I want to just say that right now, but I'm going to do it. And by the way, I don't see that like a left and a right on this, so this is all a little confusing to me. But I'm going to do it. I can't believe it. And now I have the subwoofer working. It works. And we've got tons of subwoofer. Look at that. Beautiful. Now I can charge my phone. All right, so what I'm going to do, and I've experimented with this, I'm going to try to depin this green one, and then put it into the harness, into the bottom number 2 slot from the left. I think it's number 2. I can double check the number for you. Wow, look at that. I depinned this one pretty easy. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's the one. So that came out fairly easy. Hey, there it goes. Got it from the backside. Okay. All right. I think the solution is this one goes from the back, and you lift up on the little tab over there. And then obviously this one you go from the front. It wasn't too bad. You just kind of put it in the top there, lift it. If we take this, and by the way, if it's the same, which it may or may not be, it'd be annoying if it wasn't the same. It looks not the same. Okay, proof of concept.
I'm getting vaccinated.
Look at that. Proof of concept works. Okay, so we got it's working 100%. The issue is that that clip doesn't fit perfectly in there. So I just have to make sure that I find a way to get it in there officially. So what we will do is snip off this pink one. I wanted to avoid snipping, not gonna happen. We'll snip the pink one. I will butt connect it, and then tape it off so it can't cause any problems. I then need to, take that and put it onto the green one, and then that goes in there, and we're done. It's not that hard. It's just a little annoying. I wanted to do it without snipping, ideally. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. So I'm going to try to get it pretty much as low as possible on the pink, so I give myself a little bit more room on the green. Okay, there's that. Lovely. So I need this. That's going to go onto the green. All right, I've snipped it. I've butt connected it there. No, not butt connected. I've just put a wire connector. Anyway, yeah, just put a wire connector there so it doesn't go anywhere. Now I'm going to snip this pretty close to the end. That way it's nice and long for me. So that will go here. Get rid of some of that chunk on the end. That's fine. Okay. Now here's where it gets serious. I need to strip a little bit. This is pretty thin wire. I think this is like 18 or 22 gauge. It's pretty thin. Let's start 18. Nope. This is, look, I barely can get it, you know, even access to this. This is the hard part about working on a Lotus, no matter what. Of course, admittedly, this would be any car, right? Okay, 20 to 22 gauge. I'm just gonna twist that up. Cool. I think we're happy with that. Take this, we'll strip it. This is a thicker wire. And at this point, you know, this is just normal electrical wiring. I did not disconnect the battery. It is always a good idea. I didn't do it. You know, you consider your own risk. And now I'm gonna put this little son of a gun back in, and it should clip right in and not come out. Cool. So that is in. Now the only thing I don't like with these is because it's kind of like this little mushroom that can get caught on things. So I'm going to tape this up pretty good so it cannot get caught on things. Ta-da! Lovely. Perfect. Okay, the last piece that I needed just came in, which is this little adapter. This is a female TRRS, tip ring sleeve, to male tip ring sleeve, TRS. TRS. We're good. That should hook up the microphone. I'll double check it. So this comes out, TRS, tip ring sleeve. And I know it's very small. All the way. Bam, that goes all the way in. And then this goes into the mic slot. Alright, I wasn't planning to do this, but this just happened. So this microphone, for whatever reason, I can't get it to work, even with my adapter that I thought I was so smart and so easy. So I'm taking that out. And this microphone here, I can get it to work, and that's the one that came with this head unit. So I'm going to have to rewire it. And in the meantime, I guess I'm going to pull this other one out. It's a little bit annoying. And it comes off on the American driver's side. It's just got some glue or whatever holding it in. Until I get to here. This is a new microphone wire. I could not get the old microphone to work, and was done with messing around with it. I know this one worked, and so off we go. We're just gonna run it through. Most of this is just, honestly, most of this is just sort of pushing it between the materials here, and a couple of, you know, you can use your little trim tools that we used earlier, and those will just help it go in there. And if you do it right, you won't even see it at all. I mean, it'll be 100% hidden by that. I've run the wire all the way down and around. I'm not a perfectionist. I'm not. You guys certainly must know this by now about me. But there's certain things that bother me, and those things, they must be addressed. Okay, so I'm gonna wind this up Good, good, good. I'm gonna tie this. This is too long. It's okay. And then I'm gonna go through just to keep it organized. And what? And the moment of, to be honest, it had its moments with me. I was, you know, little hang-ups. All right, I've put the screws in, you know, for the last time, I think. I'm just trying to size up to see where, you know, I'm trying to see how that is. I think it needs to come down just a smidge. Maybe kind of a... All right, I'll be honest. It took a little bit of doing. I had to rewire the microphone. I had to swap that pin over for the reverse gear input so that it automatically switched to the rear view camera. But those are the only two hard parts. Well, that and getting the stupid thing out because it was binding on the side. But oh, and if you screwed up and you didn't realize that the whole audio signal goes through the subwoofers, you'd be like scratching your head forever. You'd be like, I don't know how to do this. But we figured that out pretty quick because I was able to go back to my video of disinstalling the original. So long story short, nearly plug and play. Couple little things to modify. Again, we're going back to a 2011. My car is a 2011, replacing the INA, the Alpine INA W900 with this one, and Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. That's life-changing, especially in a car like this, where like just being able to get your phone out of the way and charge and use GPS, it makes everything better. Anyway, thanks everybody. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps somebody. If you're doing this specific swap, I think it'll help you. And I'm told for the Evora 400, it's a direct swap, right? I got this used from my buddy who pulled it out of his Evora 400 when he returned it back to stock as he was selling, he was upgrading. So anyway, long story short, enjoy. Happy tunes. See ya.